for the first time? This is crazy. How does this thing work? So, hang out in the Carline today. I got about 50 minutes. I don't have anything to rip. I don't have any comic books to read because I normally try to read the what ifs. So I figured I'd try out this live thing. I don't know. I don't know how to check. Nobody's on yet, which makes sense because I just did it. It's not like it's scheduled or anything. Plus, no, who's paying attention to me anyway? Yeah, I figured it's kind of nice day. Well, it's kind of nice. It's overcast. It's probably gonna rain, but it's like 72. So any day where I'm not gonna sit here and sweat is a nice day in my opinion. What I don't know is how to check comments. Would somebody comment? That would be awesome. Nope. Chat filter? I don't know how to check the chat. Very interesting. What does this plus do? Nope. Not a poll. Oh, there we go. Barry. Robert Springs, thank you for hanging out with me. This is my first ever Carline random thoughts. Hey Hunter. I don't have anything planned. The wife couldn't do the Carline today, so I'm like, I got it. I'll go take care of it. Be super dad. Wow, super dad. And but I don't have anything like cards to rip, and I don't have any my what if comic books. I've already done with those. Yeah, so just hanging out, trying this new feature out. Actually, I don't even know how new it is. I've just never done it before, so it's new to me. On the way over, my random thoughts, because I always have some kind of random thoughts and a random song in my head at all times, is there's a lady walking. Why is she walking? A lady got out of her car. Oh, she wants to talk to a lady in a different car. She looks a little bit like she's angry with that lady. She's using her pointer finger a lot. You know that pointing isn't the best way to communicate. Very interesting. Sorry. Carline Karens is what I was going to start calling this one. Oh my gosh. I hope y'all are doing well today. Okay, so here are my random thoughts on the way over. One is sometimes I still wear my hat backwards. And I thought to myself, you know what, Justin? You're too... the camera is... Flip the camera around her. Oh no, let's not get me in trouble, bro. Let's not get me in trouble. I can just see myself getting kicked out. Now they look like they're having fun. King Griffey nerd, yeah. Like if I was smoking if I was chewing my big bubble gum. Okay, so my deal is, I'm too old to wear my hat backwards. I know it, right? I get it. But on the other side, I'm also too old to care what people think. So it's a little bit of a conundrum. So, like, I know I'm too old to wear my hat backwards. It doesn't make sense. Like, dude, you're too old, but what are you going to do? Call the police. You're funny. There's some smiling going on now. So I think it's been resolved, whatever that was. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have anything like that. I was also thinking about electric cars on the way over here. Mine is a hybrid. Like, it's not a plug-in hybrid. It's a hybrid that, like, the battery recharges based off... She's walking away. Weird. It, like, charges off of the car's function. Like, the brakes will recharge the battery. The engine, I guess, like, if it goes too low, the engine will actually charge the battery as well. And it's nice. Like, I think on the way over here, I'm getting like 53 miles to the gallon, and I don't have to plug it in. I just walk backwards. Thanks. But yeah, 53 miles to the gallon. And I thought to myself, I mean, the electric cars I mean, they're kind of fun, right? Like a toy is fun. Like a jet ski is fun. Like a quad or whatever. I mean, those are fun. I just the range on them, it doesn't make sense. The fact what you have to pay for electricity in Texas and to charge those things, and the time it takes to charge doesn't make sense. I mean, I get better gas mileage in my little hybrid. Like hybrids seem to be the way to go. I don't know. Do you guys have electric cars? Very cracked me up. Uh, I don't understand it. Like I understand the appeal. Like if every car was electric, one, our grid couldn't support it. But how cool would it be not to hear, like the only noise you'd hear on the road is like wheel to road noise. You wouldn't hear any engine noise. That'd be kind of cool. Like my old house, the house I grew up in, was probably 2 or 3 miles away from a major highway. And although that doesn't seem like it's real close, like in the early mornings and at night when everything was kind of quiet and before people started, going off, getting really going off to work and school and whatever, if you went outside, you could hear the highway, just the noise of just all it's major highway. But how cool would it be if every car was electric and you really didn't hear that at all? That'd be kind of neat. Yeah, I like big SUVs, man. You have a Nike car? What's a Nike car, Scott? Oh, your shoes? I used to have I called it 260 air conditioning, which is when you roll down two windows and you drive 60 miles an hour. Hey, Pastor Ken. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, the car I bought for my wife a couple years ago is a Dodge Ram Charger, and it's a full size SUV. It kind of reminds me of the old Broncos. It's a 1990. They think they stopped making them in 91. And the deal was that she had one that was a little bit older when she was in high school, and she was in a head-on collision with the Mack truck, and she walked away with it with just some bruises. The wreck was so bad that her glasses were like on the radiator. I mean, she got in a real bad wreck, and so she always, like all the years we dated and everything, she was always like, man, if they ever started making those again, that's what I'd want. And a few years ago, I found one that it was all original. So I mean, it's 1990. It only had like 101,000 miles on it, and it was really well kept and updated, and it was jacked up a little bit, and it's super fun. It's super fun to drive, and so I bought it for her. Cost a fortune, but it was really cool. And now I'm learning that although how cool was it that everything was basically all original, and now everything's breaking. So I feel like it's in the mechanic all the time. So I often regret my purchase, but I was driving around in it yesterday with the windows down because it's pretty outside, and yeah, it was so much fun. It reminded me of being a kid and how, cars and trucks used to smell. I was like, there's a fuel smell you can't just get away from, but it's fun. Yeah, dude, a transporter. Okay, so years ago, I got suckered into reading one of those articles because they said like they figured out the transporter. And really what it was is that they had a computer here that was like scanning stuff, and then they had like a 3D model in space on something that could produce it. I was like, that's not the same. Star Trek wasn't doing that to Captain Kirk. But yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, I'm afraid I would get space balls with my butt on the wrong side of my body. But yeah, man, that would be so awesome. That would be absolutely amazing. Uh, my son and there's this YouTube show called Jet Lagged, and they have competitions, and this last one was tag, and it's these three guys, And shout out to John Candy. Oh man, John Candy was the greatest. But jet lagged is these three guys are in Europe, and they have three different points they have to get to. And if you get to your point before the other two guys tag you, you win. So that's the whole deal. And then every time somebody gets tagged, another guy gets to be the runner. And so there's always one runner and two chasers. And they're going all over like Switzerland and stuff, and on high speed rails, and like these rail systems are going through all these different countries. And I thought, man, why don't we have something like that? Like, our rail system's terrible. And I think about it, like our original rail system is part of the reason why we were able to spread out and industrialize the way we did. And we still transport lots of goods and services, or goods that way. But I mean, why don't we have a good transportation rail service? It'd be sweet to just hop on a train right now and not worry about anything and be in Chicago in 12 hours or whatever it is. Star Trek Voyager. Is that the one with Janeway? She Voyager? I didn't really watch that one. I liked Enterprise a lot. I like the old one. The old one's just fun because it's nostalgic, but Enterprise was my jam. Deep Space Nine wasn't bad. Also, the one that had the dude from Quantum Leap, it was kind of like a prequel. That wasn't bad either. That was kind of fun. Bakula? Scott Bakula? I don't know. I enjoyed that one. So we missed. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that, Hodges. We missed Halloween this year because the kiddo was sick all week. He had bronchitis, and I was bummed because we got a cool Star Wars outfit for him, and the only picture I have of him is this random picture that he took. And he wanted to see what he looked like with this stuff on. It's like an X-wing pilot shirt, and then we have this cool helmet, like a legit expensive helmet, and it looked really cool. And I don't know, I felt bad because I mean, as a kid, you only have so many opportunities to do Halloween trick-or-treating. So I thought about going around to my neighbors and giving him stuff, and then walking around and having him do a trick-or-treat just with the houses that we knew. But then I'm like, he's probably going to be embarrassed. But I felt bad. Yeah, Enterprise is the best. Deep Space Nine is the best? What? Why would... Deep Space Nine had the really bad graphics with the dude who's the shapeshifter guy. I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind that one. Deep Space Nine over all of them. Have you seen any of the new ones? Oh, you know what? The cartoon one, Below Decks, is actually really funny. I like that one a lot. It's really enjoyable if you haven't seen it. The original series was really good. I have not seen any of the Picard series. I'm not sure if that's still running. We don't have Paramount anymore. We only had it for a little bit. I think we were borrowing it, and so I don't know how that's going. There was another one that I liked a lot, and I'm trying to remember what it was. The lead character's name was her name was Michael, and I can't remember the actress's name. I think she was an actress that might have been on Orange is the New Black. I think that was the first time I saw her. That series was okay. Yeah, but I thought that series was kind of fun, whatever that was called. I don't remember. Oh, Deep Space Nine had better storylines. Lower Decks is great. It's funny. I like to do the TTMing, and one of the things I do when I find random actors who will sign TTM is I go to their IMDb page and I figure out what they're known for, because I had to find pictures because I make my custom cards, and I always try to see if there's anything random on there. So if there's anything random like Family Guy appearances, or I did find one that was a voice on. She was a voice actress in one episode of Below Decks, and I was able to find a picture of it. And I sent it to her. She signed it. It's fun to find the random stuff too, not just everybody. Everybody asked me about X, Y, and Z movie, but all those little things. Star Trek Discovery. Is that the newer one? Is that the one with Michael? Discovery. That sounds right. That sounds right. I thought that one was pretty good. So, are you guys Star Trek over Star Wars? I got a Star Wars hat on, so let's be careful with our answers. I like both. I definitely like Star Wars before I like Star Trek, though. Oh, I don't know who Avery. Oh, Avery Brooks, the captain. That's interesting. Yeah, isn't he like a jazz player? There was a kind of a documentary. It was with I think it was called Captains, and it had why am I going blank on his name? The first captain. Why am I going blank on his name? Shatner. Shatner was hosting it. And it was pretty interesting because he was going around and talking to all the captains about how they felt as the captain in a Star Trek series. And it was really interesting. The one with Avery was fun because I didn't realize he was a musician as well. And so, if you haven't seen, it's a short little documentary, but it's worth a watch. Yep, Captain Kirk. Yeah, so I think I was probably Star Wars before Trek because Star Wars had rad toys. Star Trek never had good toys that I know of. Like they really dropped the ball. And so my next door neighbor's older brother had all the really good toys. And so we'd go over there and raid his stuff. And oh man, we had a lot of fun. Like I don't want to say that's the only reason why I played with that kid, but it was up there. How mean is that? I really, I really like those Star Wars toys. But yeah, but I think I remember watching Next Generation more than I watched Star Wars. And that's because we didn't have the movies, but sitting on the couch, and I lived with my mom and my grandma, we would watch Star Trek, and they were like, "Oh, this is great because Picard is so cute, and so is Number One." Ooh, ooh, ooh. And so that was always fun. Hey, Monch, good to see you, buddy. I found a great place for my Donnie baseball in my card room, kind of up on the top shelf where I keep all my stuff. Actually, really close to where your other one is, but you can see this one better. Very cool. I'm debating on whether or not to separate the smaller card and put it in a top loader versus, or just keep them together and then just maybe like flip them every once in a while. I don't know yet, but I love it. I love it. Thank you so much again. If you guys haven't seen it, man, Monch sent me two cool 101 Donnie baseballs. It was really neat. To me, you don't send me anything, buddy. Not at all. I'm happy. I'm happy just being happy. Yeah, so I'd sit and watch. Oh, and I went my first Comic Con was actually a Star Trek con, and I took my mom because Data. I don't remember Brett Spiner. Spiner, I think that's right. He's from Dallas, so he always showed up to those things. And there was a con that was really close to our house, and so my mom, I don't know if I drug her there or we just knew it was going. She went to go. They did like, the panel where they talk, but Picard was there, and I think maybe Geordi was there. Worf was there. I always heard he was kind of a jerk. Michael Dorn. I always heard he was not nice in real life. And number one was going to be there. And she was like, "Oh yeah, let's go listen to number one talk, whatever that guy's real name is." Pretty funny. Yeah, but I remember walking around the con and seeing all like the lifelike phasers and the tricorders and the. I always wanted one of the little tee things. I never got one. Those were cool. I don't really remember picking up much from the con. This is like circa 91 or something, except for maybe some like postcards, something weird. Yeah, money was always tight when I was a kid. So just being able to do stuff like that and spending time with my mom was the most important thing. It's part of the reason why I got into autographing, because we would go to Jonathan Franks. Yeah, I think if you asked me about the actor Jonathan Franks without context, I wouldn't know who you were talking about. But now that we're talking about it, it sounds right. You know what I mean? Like when somebody says such and such name and doesn't say how, like there's no relation there. I'm like, I don't know. I'm terrible with names. Better with faces, terrible with names. Yeah, but my mom and I used to go to the Texas Rangers ballpark, and they used to do every like before the season like hype show. It's not a hype show, but they would do like an autograph thing and talk about spring training and what they were gonna do. But we would go and just spend hours and hours and hours getting autographs because it was free. And some of my happiest memories are from that. Just sitting in these lines that never seemed to move, and we would just sit there probably for 7 hours. And this, there's no phones, there's no video games, we're not reading books or anything. We're just sitting there and talking, and just about life, about random things that are going on in the place. That was great. That was great. I think whenever you can trap your kids where they can't go anywhere and you can get some good one-on-one time, man, that's time well spent, in my opinion. He said Rangers. Hey, you know what? They had a rough season. Let's be easy on them. And they paid Max Scherzer for 2 years, and he did nothing, and then retired. DeGrom paid him for 2 years. He pitched total of like 20 innings. Come on, they're not smart. They can't figure this stuff out. And the Dallas Cowboys are terrible. So it's tough. It's tough over here for Dallas fans. But the Mavs are going to be good, and the Stars are going to be good. Hosted Ripley's Believe It or Not. Was that a TV show? I mean, I've been to the little museums before. I guess it was a TV show. I don't remember that one. Yep. I don't know, was it any good? Or is it just like strange but true? It had to have been like strange but true facts or something like that. This guy can stick 15 nails into his ear. It's weird. Did you ever see the Guinness Book World Records show? Where they're like breaking world records on the show. It's kind of interesting. It's so weird. They had weird stuff. Like I remember a guy who was like breaking walnuts with his forehead. I was like, oh, why? Why is that a thing? Who was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna break 100 walnuts with my head in 2 minutes. Like, why? Why are you doing that? It's weird. So didn't really want. Yeah. It's funny. So we are kind of trying to 2 different world records. One is for the Star Trek autograph cards, and we have, I don't know how many I have, 260-ish, 250, 260. And at 1,000, I'm going to send a request to Guinness and to see if we can get into the book. And the other one that we started and we haven't really, it kind of fell off, is I saw years ago that Australia had the record for the longest Hot Wheels track, but it was only like half a mile long, which doesn't sound like a lot. It's a lot. But I'm like, what? And what was weird is when I watched the video, because they have a YouTube page, the guys who were doing it were working for some like Australian radio station, and as they were doing it, they were heckling the previous owners of that record, which happened to be some kids up in like, I don't know, Maine or Michigan or something. I'm like, what jerks? What a bunch of jerks. They're heckling a bunch of kids. And then I'm like, you know what, buddy? I told my son, I was like, watch this. And I'm like, I got so fired up. I was like, I can't believe we're doing that. And so I'm like, we're going to beat them. But since we're in Texas and everything's bigger in Texas, we need to double it, which was like a mile worth of track. And so I started collecting track, and I got a bunch of track, not nearly enough for a whole mile. But where I run into issues is it's so flat here that we need the little car charger things. It's like the wheels that'll turn so it'll hit it and go faster. And those are expensive and not as easy to find as you'd think. The track is pretty cheap. You can buy like 4 feet for $1 or something at the dollar store. It's not too expensive. Although you need, 5,300 feet, 5,280. Is that a mile? I think so. That's a lot. That's a lot of track. And I thought, man, I was like, you know what we could do? We could just start going to garage sales and buying them cheap. Maybe they're selling their used track real expensive too. I'm like, you guys are nuts. But I don't know. So I still think about that sometimes. I need to get back on it, but I need to find a cheaper option for the little car zippers. I don't know what to call them. And they were making these cool cars. There's one that actually had like a camera in it, and that you could just like plug it into your computer or whatever and download what was going on. Hey, Moon over Miami. Hey, buddy. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. But what I saw, and it's got to be, 7-year-old, 8-year-old technology at this point. The images just didn't look cool. And then they made this other car where you can put a GoPro in it. You can strap it down a GoPro. I was like, that's really cool, but it's going to be less aerodynamic. Does that mean I'm going to need more car speeder uppers? Plus, it's bulkier. I'm like, will that even go through? I don't know. But I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun to have a Guinness Book of World Record. And I think I think about all the stupid meetings I've gone in where they're like, tell us about you and your role and some interesting fact about you. And I'm like, there's nothing, and I have no interesting facts about me. I was like, well, if I did that for my son, he could be like, hey, I have a Guinness World Record. That's like his go-to for the rest of his life. He could always say that. It'd be kind of fun. What did you miss? I don't know, buddy. It depends on when you went out, but I'm pretty sure I gave away the lottery numbers, so you might want to rewind. Spy cameras. Cool, because I thought it would be cool to do it on the car as it was going through the whole mile, and I thought maybe I could put up like little signs with like people's names or something on it. It's like shout out to Moon over Miami, shout out to Center Hill Cards, whatever. As they were going through it, it'd be kind of fun, just so it wasn't just like a mile. I've scouted out places like around my town and a couple towns up, like bike paths where I think like, man, that I could do it there. It'd be kind of fun. I don't know. Spy camera. I would have to mount it to the car somehow. Don't they have ones that look like little flashlights? You could just like tape it down. You could just like electric tape it on top of a car, as long as it still has its wheel clearance. Yeah, that could work. That could work. I don't know what the picture quality is. I'm not up on my spy gear. Yeah, that'd be interesting. What else y'all got going on? I have 10-ish minutes until the kiddo gets out. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. That was fun. I haven't done the live thing before. Just sitting here randomly talking about whatever's going off the top of my head, which can be scary sometimes. It really can. Usually what I try to do when I'm here is I'm either doing like, I'll bring some comic books and I'll read some comic books, or I'll rip some cards, but I didn't have any cards to rip. And I thought, oh, I'll just sit here and maybe respond to some of my comments on YouTube. And I'm like, I've been seeing Barry do his lives. And I was like, that's fun. I wonder how he does that. And so that's how I got here. So like, I don't know how what is he running through another program? But no, you can do it right through the YouTube app. Who knew? On a yeah, see, the problem I have with is like my part of Dallas is really flat, and a straight lane with that'll go a mile, like, and with enough of a downgrade. It's not easy to find. And even the bike paths, they're either super flat or they'll go down and up real fast. It's just, I certainly don't want to go up. I mean, I'm trying to do it with the least amount of car pushers as possible. I only have like 2 who happen to come with some random sets that we got. You want a wrench? I'll do it. I don't know how to do it. Let's see. Let's see if I'm going to... Oh, that's it. You've been wrenched, bro. You've been wrenched. See, I'm learning how to do this stuff. Let's see. Boom. Blue. Everybody's getting blue today. Everybody's getting blue. Did I miss anybody? All right, if I missed anybody, let me know. Oop. Now you want a second wrench. I'm going to do it. If I could give you 2 wrenches, buddy, I would. Oh, hold on. There's another wrench-worthy gentleman. There, perfect. Perfect. Hey, Scott, did you, have you done all your videos from your mail days? Because I think you said you were getting one from Caleb. I wasn't sure if you got that one yet. No, not yet. Have you gotten everything? You just haven't done the videos? Because you've got a ton of stuff. It was really fun to watch all the cool things that people sent you. And it was kind of interesting to see the variety of different stuff. I bet you're hopefully just really excited. It's fun to get mail. It's always just kind of exciting. I'm always like, part of me is like, I feel bad when people send me stuff. I'm like, you don't need to take the time or the effort or the expense to send me things. And the other part of me is like, it's like Christmas all the time. Who doesn't love that? I certainly do, but I don't know. It's a mixed feelings, I guess. I actually have to turn on the air conditioner. Crazy. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think everyone knew about what happened, and it's not right. And anything people can do to help support members of the community, that's the way to do it. I love this community. It's so many wonderful, wonderful people. Yeah. All right. Well, the bell is about to ring. So I'm going to let y'all go. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. That was really kind of you for entertaining me and making me laugh. That was fun. And I guess I will see you later. Y'all take care. Bye, y'all.